Hey, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny here with Barry, and after all this basketball talk, let's talk some football. Super Bowl Sunday, it's come and gone. Obviously, those Broncos winning against the Panthers, great defensive performance, but so much of the conversation in the aftermath of the Super Bowl, Barry, has been about Cam Newton. Obviously, a terrible performance by the reigning NFL MVP in that game, not completing passes, not jumping on a fumble late. He's now said that he was worried about injury, but it is football. Your takeaway on Cam Newton from that game, Barry?
Well, it's a miserable night for Cam Newton, and his stock went down. I don't think it went way down, but definitely, if he's on the stock market, the Cam Newton goes down after Sunday night. And the press conference where he came across as sort of immature.
Petulant?
Yeah, I give him credit. I won't get on him for that. I mean, that's a tough situation. You're sitting there listening to questions that you don't think are very good, and I didn't think they were very good. He didn't want to answer them. He gets up and walked out. Okay, who cares? He has a bad game against the Denver defense.
So do a lot of quarterbacks.
I can't. Tom Brady scored 12 points.
Yeah.
They scored 12, I think. New England, whatever
that's
they got.
right. Yeah.
I mean, the Patriots didn't do anything with that Denver defense. However, when the ball's on the ground and you're a 245-pound quarterback who runs into linebackers in the open field, and the game's on the line with
in the
2
fourth
minutes,
quarter of the Super Bowl, Barry.
you got to get on the ball.
Yeah.
And this idea of I didn't want to get injured. For what? You didn't want to hurt your golf game in the month of March? I mean, you got 6 months to recover if something does happen. You got to get on the football.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a guy out there a teammate playing with a broken arm. Jared Allen had a broken foot. Thomas Davis, broken arm. Thomas Davis had no business.
Peyton Manning jumped on a football earlier in the game.
Manning jumps on a football, and he's more brittle than an Oklahoma tree. So, that was a bad look for Cam Newton. And I think it hurts his stock. It's not something he can't recover from.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a bad look.
Yeah, and the post-game press conference is going to leave a lot of people sour. There's a lot of people who were sour on Cam Newton before, and I think that was just added fuel to the fire. Now, it's come out that the setup for the press conference was not ideal. It sounds like essentially Cam Newton is on one side of a curtain, and on the other side of a curtain is Chris Harris, the Bixby product who went to Kansas, fantastic secondary player for the Broncos, who's asked about what they did against Cam Newton. Of course he is. And he basically is talking about how they manhandled Cam Newton. And Cam Newton apparently can hear Chris Harris talking about him. So the NFL, I can't believe that in a billion-dollar industry like the NFL, at their biggest game, they've got a curtain separating two guys that have been essentially going at each other virtually for 2 weeks and actually for 3 or 4 hours before, and they've got them separated by a curtain, Barry? The NFL can't do better than that?
Well,
it's terrible.
I mean, I've been to, I think, 3 Super Bowls, and it's similar to what I saw in New York 2 years ago, which is, it's very exactly what I saw. I mean, Patriots were on one side, Seahawks were on one side, Broncos on another, and it was basically a curtain partition between the two. I think that's overstated in terms of being able to hear. If you're hearing Chris Harris talk, there's people in your room, on your side, Panthers, and on the other side, Broncos, all kinds of people talking. So
and being amplified through microphones too.
Right,
yeah,
exactly. So if you're hearing Chris Harris talk about you in particular, you've got rabbit ears. You're trying to listen to him. So it's possible that did happen. It's possible that did upset him. That's no excuse. I think Cam Newton needs to hang on to this was a bunch of bad questions. I'd vote for him on that one.
That may very well be. Now, the thing that Cam Newton is going to have to, I think, maybe grow into, and, I get that he's still young and he is going to experience things that improve him for the future, but he's not only a face for the Panthers, he's a face for the NFL now. As the reigning MVP, he's now part of that machine that promotes the NFL. And for him to not put on, a little bit more of a mature face at the end of that game, I get he was disappointed. I get that the questions may not have been, up to the standard that you would like, but he has to be aware of that, and surely that's going to be a learning experience for him on a lot of levels. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of that improve moving forward. Barry, a lot's been made of the fact that I believe after the 2010 Super Bowl, Peyton Manning didn't stick around to shake hands on the field after his team lost. It wasn't the best show of sportsmanship. And I think he probably learned from that. I assume Cam Newton will learn from this because there's a lot more years of Cam Newton coming. He's not going away. He plays fantastically. He'll be back. His team will be back. So don't be surprised to see him learn from this. But if he had learned anything, surely somebody along the line is going to show him that replay of that fumble and say, you got to get on the ball here, Cam.
Get on the ball.
Get on the ball. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.